That'll do. Hi guys, just had a nice haircut. It cost me £0. This is the shaver. If you can see, I don't know if you guys can see. It says Salvatore. I bought this for my dad, and I gave it to borrowed it to the care home, and then when he passed away, they gave it back. And this is quite cool because it cut my dad's hair. And now I'm cutting my own hair, so it has some of his DNA on it, So nostalgia. It's true, isn't it? Certain things like I don't know. You can have a chain of gold, and a robber can come to your house and take that. But like for example, an old tin that is knackered and dirty, has some flowery design on top of it, and dented. No one would ever take that. And yet that tin, inside it's got sewing utensils, thread, lots of thread inside. And it reminds me of my mum when she used to fix things. And for me, it's not priceless, but it holds so many memories, and it's like really cozy. If I think about that, to have that in my house, I feel really comfortable. Feels happy, happy memories. If someone were to steal that, it would feel worse than stealing. I don't know if I don't have any gold chains, but if I had a gold chain of 200 or 300 quid, because one has that nostalgia, your memories, and a certain kind of chi, a certain energy, whereas the other one doesn't. It's just it's more valuable in a monetary sense, but not in a deeper sense. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I've got a few of those things at home, and I don't have any. Now that we have to separate our stuff. There's stuff that for my wife is garbage maybe, but for me it's like priceless. As I said, that tin where my mum put her sewing stuff, it's just, for me, it's I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't have a price to put on it, because if you put a price on it, you sell it for, I don't know, 10 quid, 5 quid, not even that. 5 quid, 10 quid, what am I talking about? A pound maybe. No one would want it for a pound, but for me it's worth yeah, I couldn't sell it. It's worth too much for me. It doesn't have any monetary value. It has the value of my mum, the memories of my mum growing up in London, and her fixing my things, fixing my dad's stuff. And memories come back of my childhood, the old house in London. I was thinking, if I ever had loads of money, like if I became rich, if I won the lottery or something, if I became rich, I would try and get that house back and recreate it into the house, my old house from, when I was a kid. I would design it the same, not exactly the same, but as, put all these old stuff. Why though? Why would I do it? I suppose it's a good experiment, It's I would try to be. I would actually go back in. Well, I was going to say actually go back in time, but for me it would be like going back in time, and that's a good experiment actually. I think there was an experiment done where they got these guys, and I'm not sure what age. Obviously they were, I don't know, older, maybe 60, 70 upwards, and they told them to put clothes on from a time when they were younger, let's say when they were 20 or 30. So maybe they wore like flares, or maybe they were in their 20s or 30s in the 1950s or 60s. And so they told them to wear the clothes that they used to wear in that period, and they put them in the house that had all the old, I don't know, jukebox or whatever. But what did they have in those days? The TV, they showed TV programs of that era, of that time. Then I'm not sure what blood markers, what markers they tested, but they actually tested younger. They kind of went back in time. They tested these people for a week or a few weeks, and then they either took their blood test or whatever. I don't know, urine. I don't know what markers they took, but they were actually younger. That's interesting, isn't it? If I could make my house into a house like the same house as, or as similar as possible to our house in the 1970s and 80s or even 90s, then maybe I can go back in time mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Yeah, it's worth a shot, isn't it? Oh, it doesn't work, it's all bollocks. Well, you don't know until you try, and then take some tests, do some lab. Oh, talking about lab. So my eyes are, you can't see them. They were really red earlier on, because I thought I'm going to give the carnivore diet the last try. But I do worry about my kidney health, because I've been taking. A lady did mention something, and she just reignited a worry that I've had for years, about my kidneys, and taking omeprazole and Paxil as well. Taking medication long term can affect your either liver or kidneys. Omeprazole has been shown, it's been suggested that it can harm the kidneys or reduce the kidneys functioning health. So I've always been kind of worried about my kidneys, but when she mentioned it, I thought, oh, okay. It made me think, and it made me think about the carnivore diet. If my kidneys are already getting a hit from the omeprazole, I don't want to do a double whammy, like boom, boom, the omeprazole and then the carnivore diet, smashing both my kidneys. So, yeah, this time what I'll do is I'll do some. A friend of mine did mention that you can get some kidney function tests online, on Amazon, but I don't know how accurate they are. I think the accurate test is I think it's cisplatin C or something like that. It's more accurate than the normal EGFR, the estimated glomerular filtration rate. That's estimated by your creatinine. Your creatinine can be really high if you've got a lot of muscle, if you're a big guy, if you work out, because you're breaking down muscle. If you eat a lot of meat, then you're breaking down that protein. So your creatinine levels can be high if you're doing any of those things. It can be elevated. So then your EGFR will look bad. It will be low. The lower your EGFR numbers, the lower, well, it's not an actual measurement, it's an estimate of your filtration. That's why it's called EGFR, estimated glomerular filtration rate. But if you do that, I'm not sure if I got the right word, cisplatin, I think, cisplatin C, cisplatin, I think C. That's a more accurate test, and it doesn't rely on creatinine. It relies on other factors. So it's more accurate of your kidney function or kidney health. So anyway, I was thinking, do the carnivore properly for a whole week. Properly, like no cravings, no carbohydrates at all, and just see how I feel. And so what I did is I had a turkey. I got a huge turkey leg from Morrison's yesterday, and so I cooked it last night. I ate it, and this morning I ate the leftovers, but I didn't leave the leftovers in the fridge. I actually froze the leftovers and I just reheated them this morning. I was cleaning the house and I thought, okay, maybe it's dusty. That could be the reason. But actually, the only thing I ate was that turkey, and my eyes just itched so much. I had to scratch my eyes so much. And they were super, super red. Now they're okay, but they were really, really red because obviously I was scratching. I was going, I couldn't stop itching. And that was maybe 10 minutes after I finished eating. So I had that turkey, which I roasted in the oven, which increases histamine. I should maybe, if you boil the meat, it's a bit boring, but it has less histamine. And also you can macerate the meat in some vinegar, and that reduces also histamine if you do it for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But vinegar itself is high in histamine, so you have to wash it off thoroughly. So yeah, I can do a test before, or after a few days of going carnivore, and then after about a week to see if it's really impacting my kidneys or not. Why would you do the carnivore diet? Because it seems to be like a panacea. It fixes everything. Reflux, brain problem. But I don't know, it gets boring really quickly. Just eating meat, or after just having that one meal, I don't feel like eating anything at all. And that sounds just about right, because it's supposed to like make you lose weight. It's basically you're basically fasting. If you had in the fridge like cheesecake, bread, fruits, sweet fruits like a pear, a watermelon, that's the kind of food that I'm craving now, because I feel hot. I've got all that hot energy of the meat and butter and salt. So you need your body, like says, is egging you on to eat some fruit. Like now I'm at the supermarket, I'm going to want to buy some fruit, no meat. So if I think that I'm going to eat meat again, I don't feel like eating anything. I'll say, the body's saying time out, no more. But if somebody says you can eat watermelon, a pear, a piece of cheesecake, I don't know, bread, like toast and butter with some honey on, I'm gonna eat all of it, guaranteed, and have seconds. And the same thing happens, doesn't it? If you go on a raw vegan diet, and all you could eat is like watermelon, a cantaloupe melon, lettuce, I don't know, apples, pears. That's all you can eat. Within a few days, you're going to be craving that fat. You're going to be craving a little bit of meat, cheese, stuff like that. Because your body kind of, I don't know, craves the opposite, doesn't it? It's so full of that one type of food, that one macro, that it seeks the other one to balance itself out. Homeostasis is called. Yeah, is it wrong? Is it an actual craving, or is it a need? With the carnivore diet or the ketogenic diet, the first few days are horrible. You have some people have that keto flu. I don't think I'll have a keto flu because I've been doing a low carb on and off for a few years. Keto, not keto, carnivore, not carnivore, so I've kind of gotten used to it. Like the other day I ate yesterday I ate 2 red apples. They tasted like candy. They were so sweet. I tasted a little bit of my daughter's watermelon, just a tiny slice. It tasted like pure sugar. So my taste buds have adapted and become sensitized to sugar, sweet things. Bread, for example, no. Even though they say, oh yeah, the bread turns into sugar in the body. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't actually taste like sugar on your tongue. So, or maybe that's a danger, because it kind of sneaks into your diet, you think, a little bit of gluten-free bread won't do you any harm, but then it actually may do. Yeah, so I think, yeah, the difficult thing is the first few days of going on a carnivore diet. Yeah, will it crash your kidneys? You get videos online saying, no, it won't crash your kidneys. It's not. In fact, people who have kidney disease go on a carnivore diet and either stabilize or get better. But I wonder if it's the old. I think there was once one guy, he said something like, he was talking. They were talking about Casanova and all his successes, and one person was talking about his failures and said, Casanova never spoke about his failures, did he? He may have had so many failures. So a person who is famous or successful or whatever, they won't talk about their failures. They probably had failures, but we don't hear them, do we? I wonder if it's the same thing. Maybe many people who do have kidney disease and go on the carnivore diet crush their kidneys, but you never hear about them because they're so ill that they're battling to stay alive, maybe, and all you hear about is the few that say, "Yeah, it was really successful for me. Look at my kidneys; they're like iron now. They're great. They're made of steel now because of the carnivore diet." How do you know all this stuff? I mean, how do we know the truth from the false? Yeah, so those are my thoughts at the moment. So what do you guys think? I mean, I got a comment saying all my problems have gone when I went onto a vegan diet 15 years ago, and I do believe that. Some people go on a raw vegan diet. Some go on a cooked and raw vegan diet. Some people go on a keto diet. Some people go on a carnivore diet. Some go on a Mediterranean diet, and they all heal. So I don't know. I suppose it's a question of trying and then testing to see what your labs say. You might feel really great, but your labs might say something else. You might feel really great, but you're just around the corner from a heart attack, or your kidneys like collapsing. Say if you feel really fantastic and your EGFR goes down to about 20 or 30 or 20, or in your like almost end stage kidney disease. And that's the thing about kidney disease, it's a silent killer. It's one of those silent killers. You don't know that you're in stage 3 or 4. Some people say, yeah, they know, but some don't know. They test, and then they see that their filtration rate has gone down to about 30 or something, or 20, and they're fucked. Basically, they have to prepare themselves for dialysis and the kidney transplant. Yeah, that's not good. So that's why it's a good idea to test your glomerular filtration rate. The good thing about the carnivore diet is, the bad thing is, like, if you've got damaged kidneys, if they're damaged, the small tubules, and you eat lots of meat, then it will put more stress on the kidneys, because they have to deal with all that meat, don't they? They have to deal with increased urea, I think it is. One of these doctors, these carnivore doctors, said the creatinine won't go up if you go on a carnivore diet. Your urea will go up, the amount of urea produced. The good thing about the carnivore diet is that you're supposed to drink a lot of water. And I found that online. I'm 5'11", man, 57 years of age, 105 kilo roughly. I should be drinking 3.5 liters at least a day. And I drink about maybe 10 cups of tea, and that's it. And teas are very, very dehydrating. Caffeine is dehydrating. So for every cup, I think, of coffee or tea, you should drink 1.5 cups of water to get back the water, because it's dehydrating. Either you pee it out, or you sweat it out, or somehow you lose it. So Yeah, so I must have been dehydrated for all my life. That's why my kidney, my glomerular filtration rate isn't. It's about 60, which is not good. I mean, it should be about 100. That's like normal. And then from 90, it's stage 1 kidney disease. I don't know, 70 is stage 2, let's say. Then 60 is maybe stage 3, or maybe stage 2 still. And then as you go down, 50, 40 is stage 4. Stage 5 is, I think, less than 15. That's when you have to start getting ready for dialysis and kidney transplant. Yeah, so 60 is not good. It's not so bad, but it's not good. It's probably stage 2 or stage 3 kidney disease. Yeah, so the good thing about carnivore is that you're told to drink a lot of water, at least 2 liters of water. So that's what I'm going to do now. Sip it during the day, not all in one go. I hate people who drink from the bottle. Well, I don't have a cup. I do have a cup. I have my knackered love cup here, but it's got tea inside. Yeah, I'll chase that down with some tea. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm deciding whether, it's. I've got a crazy relationship with diets, I don't know which diet. If somebody said, if there was some light being that came down and said, this is a diet that you should be eating, this is a panacea, will give you a long life and it's perfect for you, I don't know, this will help, will reverse all your health problems, I would do it. I don't know whether it's, at the moment, whether it's carnivore, strict carnivore, ketovore, which is carnivore diet plus a few, herbs and maybe a few low carb vegetables. I don't know, like lettuce or something like that, which is basically it's carnivore with a few bits in between, maybe mushrooms every once in a while or a berry. That's ketovore. I would probably do something like that. Strict carnivore, it's a bit hard. Or the lion diet is really hard. Just eating beef and ruminant animals, lamb. That's kind of what I'm doing now. Maybe that's why I'm finding it difficult. Or go raw vegan. Like, raw vegan I've tried before, and like within a few days, like you slash weight, your weight comes down. And it's not like, if you go on a ketogenic diet or if you go on a carnivore diet, they say like when you lose weight, but it's water weight. The first few days is water weight. But on a on a raw food diet, just like vegetables, and juices, and fruits, like within the first few days, I lost so much weight, and it can't be water weight, can it? So it must be fat. Anyway, I lost weight, or maybe I just ate less. Yeah, and on all these diets, they tend to limit themselves, don't they? Because if you eat just meat and let's say butter or fat, lard, salt, and then you drink water, you are satiated. You don't want to eat anything else. So it has its own control system. Not control. What's it called? Your how do you say your satiation mechanism in your body actually works. Your ghrelin, the hormones that control hunger, actually work if you eat just one type of food. So if you eat just vegetables, just raw fruits, raw vegetables, So your body gets the message, okay, I've got lots of carbohydrates here, I've got no fat, so this is what I'm supposed to be eating. Okay, time out, that's enough. I've had enough fruits and vegetables, I don't want any more. So your body knows when to stop. It's only when you eat a balanced diet that your body doesn't know when to stop. And if you think about it, it's not natural, is it? You know, when you concoct all these kind of food-like products, you know, cheesecake, tiramisu, trifle, they're not found in nature. Although they're delicious, they're not found in nature. And they're all 50-50, like 50% carb, 50% fat, roughly. Trifle, you've got loads of fat in the cream. Then you also dump loads of sugar. Custard has got loads of fat because you have to use milk, and loads of sugar as well. The sponge has got fat inside. To make the sponge, you need a lot of butter or fat. You've got loads of sugar as well, you know, in the form of, so you have carbohydrate and fat, about, let's say 50% each, roughly. Chocolate, for example, if chocolate didn't have any sugar inside, it would taste terrible. If chocolate didn't have any carb inside, like sugar, it would taste terrible. If chocolate didn't have any fat inside, it would taste terrible. So the combination goes well. It's the combination that we crave. We crave that percentage of fat and carbohydrate. Because you see, in nature, this never existed. As human beings, we're constantly trying to avoid starvation, because in the olden days, you know, thousands, millions, I don't know, a long, long time ago, there were periods of feasting, you know, when the men used to go out and hunt. And there were periods of famine, like for a few days or weeks or whatever, when there was no food, no meat at least. And so maybe the women would uproot some starchy veg or some starchy plants, or, you know, leaves or things like that. And you know that, like, there's, some women are going to be saying, why didn't the women go out and hunt? Of course they didn't go out and hunt. Well, I would have thought not, because the women are too precious to lose in a battle against some saber-toothed tiger. Women and children are very precious to continue the tribe or the race. So you don't let them go out and... apart from the fact that you allow the strongest, the fastest, and the most vicious of your tribe to go out and try and collect food, to kill food, right? You have to let the killers go out, not the nurturers, you know, the women. People might not like that, but I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, you're not going to put women on the front line at war, are you? Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, women are precious. You need women to continue the race. So you're not going to put them out there to hunt when they could be killed or taken by another tribe. That's how precious I think women were, and women are. You see, I'm saying some good things about women because it's a fact. I think it's true. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything else. I might get myself into trouble. Yeah, so that's why it's difficult to go to just eat one thing, because we're so used to eating a balanced diet of carbohydrates and you know, and fats, you know, meat, or, you know, animal food. But what's the right way? I don't know. I think, you know, what I'd like to do is, if I can afford it, just at least do tests on my kidneys, you know, just because to test every organ or test every system, bloody hell, it'll be expensive. You know, doing a liver function test, doing a kidney function test, cholesterol, glucose, you know. It'll be good if you can test those basics, and, you know, do the carnivore diet for 1 month, and then see, you know, what your numbers are, then do a raw vegan diet for a month, and then test your numbers. And you know, some people might say, yeah, well, that diet might not affect your numbers in such a short period of time. Probably, but you can gauge, you can see if you're, you know, if you're, well, maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. Maybe you can see if your liver function starts to change. And then I think there was one guy, I think it was Dante, a carnivore guy, an Italian guy, and after a few months, it took a few months, and his liver function test showed they were going in the wrong way. You know, his liver was like rebelling. So I'm not sure which numbers they were, but his what were they? GGT. His liver enzymes were going down. They were going up, I think. So they weren't really moving in the right direction. He was thinking about stopping, I think, or maybe he was concerned anyway. But then after about 6 months, his liver function actually changed. It went into the right direction. So it took some time for his liver to get used to that amount of fat and protein, maybe. I don't know if I'd have the guts to do that. You know, if I see my liver function test going in the wrong direction, you know, I'm a chicken. I would stop immediately and do the exact opposite. But it seems that his liver has kind of worked round the problem, worked round. I don't know, but is that a good thing? You know, if his numbers were going the wrong way, and then after 6 months they're okay, maybe his liver is trying to stabilize, but it's the wrong diet for him. Maybe after a year, his liver numbers will crash. No, sorry, not crash. That will soar, and there may not be any going back. You know, like his liver is taking the last stance and actually trying to deal with it, but I just don't know. It's really difficult, isn't it? What do I do? Some people say, oh, I was on the vegan diet for years and it destroyed my health. Others say, I've been on the vegan diet for 10, 15 years. I feel greater than I've felt than since I was a teenager. Who do you believe? Yeah, everyone's different, aren't they? I don't know. I suppose I could do one diet, like the carnivore diet, as I said, test before. I can have a baseline test for, like, I don't know, glucose, cholesterol, kidney function test, and liver function test. Just basics, blood pressure, you know, weight, of course, body fat composition, you know, those kind of things are just real basics. And then just check after, let's say, a month, stop, and then go into a new diet, like the opposite, like a raw vegan diet, and then see what happens. You know, because I've seen a lady, she had problems with her kidneys, and she had terrible kidney numbers. So then what happened was she was doing like a low carb diet for about 5 years, and her numbers were terrible. So then what happened was she went onto a raw vegan diet for about 6 months, or is it 6 months or a year, and her numbers like completely changed. It went in the right direction. And she's also a type 1 diabetic as well, so her diabetes numbers improved, her kidneys really improved. So quiet, 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 quiet. Stop it. Yeah, so let's stop now because there's another Volvo with a little doggy inside. So, um, yeah, so I'm none the wiser. I don't know. Well, I suppose I'll just continue doing the carnivore diet. But I find that when I'm on the carnivore diet, I'm super hot. I feel so hot. No wonder they tell you to drink lots of water, because you're getting all your protein and fat in that really dense, really dense, nutrient dense, like small amount of food. Be quiet. I'm scared that these guys will fight when I go outside. You better not. Quiet. Stop growling. Yeah, you feel really hot. Yeah, because meat is really yang, isn't it? Whereas like raw food, like vegetables and fruits are very yin, very cold, very cooling. So anyway, I don't know what to do. It seemed to have cured that lady. Obviously, that lady didn't have a histamine intolerance. And then you have some accounts where people have gone, like, have had histamine intolerance problem, and they healed their problem by going vegan. I don't know how the hell they did that. Obviously, I assume they avoided all those high histamine vegetables and fruits. Or maybe they just pushed their bodies. They did have histamine reactions and just pushed their microbiome to change to, you know, to adapt to and heal. Because if you don't have that Tao, then you're going to have problems with histamine. Everything has histamine, really. It's just that some foods have less histamine, and some foods have a lot more. So anyway, my nose is leaking now. My nose is leaking. What did I have? I just had turkey and butter and salt. And I've got a histamine reaction. Nose is leaking, I've got mucus, eyes itching like hell. See, that's what meat does to me. But if I eat, for example, avocado, pear, watermelon, lots of tomatoes, well, tomato gives me reflux, but all those high histamine vegetables, then I sneeze my brains out. So it affects me from in another direction. So maybe both of them are not histamine. Maybe some other. See, I need this bloody snot rag with me. You don't know, like, behind the scenes what happens. You know, some people have been saying, if you need money, why don't you just do a membership on YouTube? And I could have done the membership when I had 500 subscribers, when I was still doing the doggy channel. But, you know, a person that's got depression as myself and anxiety, you know, finds it difficult to keep to one thing, especially the more pressure I put on myself or is put on me, I tend to collapse. So if I asked, if I asked for, like, if I had a membership set up, then I would have to make videos like the behind the scenes video, behind the scenes idea. And it would make me more busy, and it would mean, like, because people are paying like £1 a month, £5 a month, or whatever, I would have to, create videos, and that, I mean, it would help me. Imagine if I can get, I know I'm just dreaming. Say if I got 100 members, and they each paid me £5. That's £500, and I'd have no worries about feeding the dogs. And for myself, I could use that money to pay bills. That would be brilliant. I mean, it wouldn't be enough, but it'll be a huge amount towards, my expenses. And it can kind of liberate me to focus on what I really want to do in life, focus on that elixir of life. Many people think it's a load of bollocks, but I have to go for it. I don't care what people think. Anyway, those are my ramblings for today. Forgive me again for a upside down video. I just came here and yeah, I'm just, it's raw. It's my thoughts at the moment. I don't know what to do with diet. I want to do the carnivore diet. I worry about my kidneys though. They're not giving me any problems. It's just that when I do a pee, it's like foam. And that could be a sign of proteinuria, which means the spillage of protein or albumin in the urine, because albumin is white. Alba is white. I think it's alba or something that it means white. It's Latin for white, like albino, white. But I think also I've been dehydrated most of my life, like for 20 or 30 years. Oh God, more. What am I talking about? 40 years maybe. I've been drinking English teas, maybe 10 or 20 a day. And that will crush your, not your kidneys, it will crush your ability to make DAO. It affects your DAO enzyme. English teas and green teas. Oh yeah, so maybe that's why. Finally my DAO production has kind of dwindled or slowed down to a crawl, because I drink so many teas, and teas do affect DAO negatively. Today I've only had one tea. Look, I still got half left of a cold tea. So if I can stop my addiction of tea down to maybe one tea a day and then just stop, that would be really good. That will help to cure maybe my DAO problem, maybe my insomnia, because I have to have 2 or 3 teas just before I go to bed. Acid reflux, because the tea relaxes the legs. It causes transient relaxations, I think they're called. So yeah, so maybe those teas are a problem. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. I hope you guys have a nice day. And do you guys also have similar problems? Like you don't know which diet to do, which protocol to pursue, which diet to pursue, and what are the reasons? Why are you worried? I mean, for me, the carnivore diet, I worry about. Well, I should really be worried about the cholesterol, because your cholesterol is going to, well, not necessarily, but it could go through the roof. Apparently, like 30% of people who go on a carnivore diet, their cholesterol will go down, especially if you're overweight or unhealthy. 30% will stabilize, will stay the same, and 30%, I think they're called lean mass hyperresponders. The cholesterol levels will go through the roof. So anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. They say a little knowledge is a bad thing. And that's what I have. I have a little knowledge and I'm bloody confused. So anyway, thanks guys. I know some of you guys are carnivores, and I respect carnivores, but I don't know, I think I might not be able to. I might have to go vegan. I might have to go complete loony left. I might have to go, imagine becoming a vegan. I wonder if there are right-wing vegans. Probably, because a lot of vegans, you get a lot of vegetarians and vegans who are like older, in their 60s, 70s. Not woke, are they? Some of them are. Yeah, you see, I'm just leaking. What did I have? Didn't have any crisps, biscuits, nothing. I just had meat. Maybe that meat, it was turkey, so I think, what they do to the turkey? They put CO2. They pump it with a CO2 gas. I think it's the same CO2 that they pump inside your body when they operate you. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, so I assume the CO2 stops like the bacteria and infection. But is it good for your body? For you to eat that? I don't know. So yeah, I just don't know what to do. I'm gonna go in there. I really want to be honest. I really want to go and get a bloody watermelon, but the watermelon is going to give me problems because I'm gonna have SIFO, which is a fungal overgrowth, and anything sweet will feed the yeast or the fungus. But I'm worried about my kidneys. The watermelon would be really good for my kidneys, but would it be really good for my kidneys if it gives me a reaction? Like, that's stress on the body, and that stress is felt everywhere. It's felt in the kidneys as well. So on the one hand, yeah, it's really hydrating. It's really hydrating. But if it causes an autoimmune reaction, it will harm also your kidneys or put them under stress. I mean, that's logical, isn't it? On the other side, meat sounds really bad. But if it reduces inflammation and oxidative stress in the gut, then it's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, how do you say, qualities will be felt everywhere in your kidneys as well. But your kidneys have to deal with the bloody breakdown of protein metabolism and urea. I don't know. You guys might know more than me. I know some guys will say, "Oh yeah, some people have got kidney problems. They went on a carnivore diet and they healed." But what's the mechanism? What is the? How did they heal? How could they heal on a carnivore diet if their kidneys that are responsible for dealing with protein, if they're damaged, how can that be? Maybe because if a low carbohydrate diet or a carnivore diet reduces, as I said, inflammation, oxidative stress, and also reduces your blood pressure and your glucose markers, your diabetic markers, then I can understand why it seems as though it's good for the kidneys, because the two dangers for the kidney, that like the evil duo, are diabetes and high blood pressure. Those two things will smash your kidneys. So those two are the dangers for the kidneys, the double whammy, as I said. So if the carnivore diet, although the kidneys have to deal with that protein, okay, which is a bad thing, but if you look at all the other things it does, lowers oxidative stress, lowers inflammation, lowers diabetic markers, and lowers blood pressure. If it does those four things, then obviously that's good for the kidneys. Now, if you look at like a well-formulated vegan diet, if I eat foods that are really low in histamine and don't spike my blood pressure, don't affect negatively blood sugar, and have a really low impact on the kidney, it seems better, doesn't it? Because vegan foods, or fruits and vegetables, have a very low impact. The protein is different to animal protein, so they tax the kidneys much less. But then your fuel source by default has to be either fat or carbohydrate, so you have to have sugar. So if there's sugar, like, you have to have some fruits, you have to have some kind of, you can't just eat like lettuce, kale, and berries. You have to ingest some sugar because you need enough carbohydrate to keep you have to pack into your body calories. So that if they have to come from carbohydrate, then you need something like, I don't know, like pumpkin, squash, cooked carrots, or fruits like, I don't know, watermelon. You need sugar, don't you? You need carbohydrate. Will that carbohydrate affect your blood sugar markers and your blood pressure? Well, apparently not. The lady that had the kidney problem, she ate just a raw food diet, and she was okay. So a raw food diet actually can be more beneficial because you don't have the protein taxing your kidneys, potentially taxing your kidneys. You guys, let me know what you think. Either a raw vegan diet or a carnivore diet. Super high protein and fat diet, or sugar diet or carbohydrate diet with lots of fiber. Yeah, don't talk about balanced diet. But then you eat a balanced diet. I can't, because I have to. A balanced diet, it has to be like tailor-made for me. I can't have fruits and vegetables and, well, I can, I suppose, but I just want to not affect the Randall cycle. There's something called the Randall cycle, where if you eat carbohydrates and fats together, it triggers or affects this Randall cycle, and this Randall cycle is bad for your health. Don't ask me how, otherwise I'm gonna have to bloody read why it is bad. I read before once, but I forgot. But I know it's bad. But I'll tell you next time then, if you want to know. But some people say no, it's not true. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to my ramblings. Yeah, sorry, I'm just really confused with my health and what diet to pursue. But whatever diet I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy a kit to see my kidney, at least my kidney, at the very least, just my kidney health, to see what happens. And I've got a blood pressure monitor at home, and I've got a scale to check my weight and body fat and visceral fat. So those are things that I can easily access. Glucose and cholesterol, I think you can get one of those machines as well. Okay, guys. So I'll speak to you guys another day. Sorry if I've destroyed your ears again, if you've made it up to this point. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
We froze, cold night in the winter, how cold. Sorry that I fall away sometimes. Sorry that I fall away sometimes. Yeah, the end. Got to end it all on the weekend. Sorry that I feel that way sometimes. Sorry that I feel that way sometimes. Oh.